Welcome back to the channel. I do apologize for that last parody. I had a lot of fun with it. I don't know. Every once in a while you got to be goofy, I guess. So in this episode we're gonna fix this car up. It's been sitting around a long time. I see big swirls in the hood, just tons and tons of paint flaws. I know I said in that last episode we were going to do the paint last, but I ordered the parts for the car, which isn't a lot, a repair kit to fix the door there in the center console. I actually looked over the carpet. The carpet looks really good. The floor mats are actually what look a little hammered, so I just ordered new floor mats for it. The headlights, unfortunately you can't buy just these center pieces, and they are weathered. Like, these wrap around the edge and stuff. If I were to just clean this edge up, it would have like a yellow kind of border. So I figured it'd look nice and fresh with just a new fresh set of lights. They weren't overly expensive, under 200 bucks for the lights. So I just ordered the lights, carpet, floor mats, and the ashtray repair kit. I think I'm going to take it to a shop and have them glue this back on, because every time, like I said, every time I try it, it stays on for a little while. Sun comes out, it gets hot, and the stupid thing falls back off again. A lot of people don't know that this is actually paint, and so you should be waxing this stuff. I'll probably take this center part off. This is metal. Most cars, this is plastic. I think this is metal, right? Or no, maybe that is plastic. Yeah, I think that is plastic. Yep, plastic. I'll take that off so I can go around that real well. Top on these, you want to be careful when you're using a buffer. You don't want to spray any kind of wax or anything on them. It's real hard to get off. Mirrors, it's plastic. So I got some product we can use to clean those up with. Don't want to spend too much time and money on this thing. I just kind of want to get it done. But so first I'm gonna just kind of dust the car off, get all that barn dust off of it, and then maybe I'll do a stripe down the center of the hood, and we'll do the before and after. And I'll kind of show you some of the products and stuff that I like to use. Again, this is not a training video. I'm not telling you how to do anything. I'm just showing you how I do stuff. That's it. Don't ever follow anything I ever tell you to do. There was one guy on there mad because I was putting the electric door locks and electric windows in the 68 Camaro, and was like, no instruction at all. Well, you know, usually when you're looking for instructional videos, you're looking for something that says how to. These are not how-tos. These are just me working on stuff. So do not do anything I do. Do not copy anything I do, unless you want to end up with something that looks like stuff that I do. So anyways, that's my caution tape for this episode. Okay. Got a nice little piece of tape down the center of the car there. I didn't really do anything in prep on this, except for take a car duster, California car duster, I don't know, whatever you got. Just knock the dust off of it. Still got some dirt and stuff on it. Could you wash it? Sure. Wanted to go ahead and take it out and waste the time washing it. I say waste the time because in my opinion it's a waste of time. Because what we're about ready to do is going to completely get rid of all that stuff anyways. When I'm using my nail, I'm using the back side of it and I'm pulling it this way. I'm never going this way. So, I don't know. Some people are going to scream probably in the comments. Blah, blah, blah. I don't really care. So, then what we're going to do is, if you just kind of look at the paint. I don't know if you can hear that. Let me get the microphone close. Hear that? It sounds like sandpaper. That's because there's a lot of contamination on the paint right now. So the way I get rid of it is clay bar. Clay bar. This is just some quick detailer. You can use the stuff that comes with the clay bar. Usually I just like to buy just the clay bars because I don't need the whole little kit. But if you're at home and you're new to this and you want to get started doing this, you know, maybe just buy the kit. You know, it's got all the stuff you need in there. I just have a whole cart full of garbage. So, okay, a couple seconds there. Didn't really spend a lot of time. You see a lot of the dirt and contaminants. Yeah, if I wash it, would that be less? Sure, whatever. Okay. That sounds pretty good. A little bit right there still. You can get a rag, wipe that off. Let me see here. Where's my... There it is. Okay. I'm just gonna wipe that off real quick. Now, you're really not gonna see much of a change when you do this, as far as how it looks. But we're not really concerned about how it looks right now. So already it looks slightly cleaner than it did, but I mean, technically probably just washing the car would give it that same kind of clean look. Let me zoom in on that so you can kind of see how that looks. Get out of the light there. I don't know if you can quite see that. Anyways, it's got a little, like you can kind of see a line running right in there. But honestly, you know, if you would just wash the car, you'd have a similar result as far as that goes. But it won't be kind of debris free. So now let's take a listen. Now, there is the road out there. You really can't hear anything. That's what you're going for. So let me kind of, again, let's go over another spot where, and then where I did it. You can still feel a couple small little dots. Those are those little tick, tick, tick that you hear. That's little tree sap or whatever it is still on the paint. So let me go over this section here. I'm going to pound that out and then we'll get on to the next step. All right, for this next part, what I do, sorry, is kind of look at the paint and kind of see what I got. Use the light that you see reflecting. That'll pull out and show you all of the little imperfections that you have. This has got some pretty good swirl marks in it. I was thinking about going to a 3M product that's made for cutting down swirl marks made by compound. It's a little bit more aggressive than this, but I know the paint on this thing is kind of thin. I do have a paint gauge. I gotta get it. Let's see what the dust is insane in this place. I know I've said that a billion times, but ever since the fires, it's been worse. It just drives my nose absolutely crazy. Okay. It's paint thickness gauge. Turn it on. I'll load up or do whatever, I don't know. Okay. So 5.9, actually that's not bad. 6.0, that's not bad either. 5.5. It's pretty consistent across the panel. 6.0, that's pretty good. Hoods are generally thinnest because that's where everybody grinds away on them. All right, 5.5 to 6.4. That's not bad. Average is, this says minimum, max, oh no, that's a, average is 6.7. Oh, I don't think I cleared it since the last time. Low 3.45, 3.54. I don't think I cleared it from the last time, no. Here, let's go clear. Deleting data, okay. 5.4, 5.9, 6.3, 5.5, 6.3, 6.3, 5.9, 5.6, 5.6. The side is 5.5. This thing's consistent. That's not bad. 5.9, 6.5. All right. Average is 5.9. Minimum 5.4. Maximum 6.5. That's millimeters. So the paint on this is actually not too bad. I think I gotta hold it to shut off. Yeah, I think I gotta hold it. I don't use this thing that much. Used it a few times, especially on older cars. You don't have to have one of these. If you do, they're not that expensive on. You pick one up on Amazon. This one's called, what is this? UNI-T unit. It's a UT343D. Oh, got off Amazon. Had okay reviews, but honestly, you can just kind of, I can just kind of, because I'm not, again, this is not instructional. I won't use this as instructional. What I'm doing is just kind of looking at the paint. You can see I've got some clear issues here where it was shot. Strange. I don't know if it's. I'm pretty sure this is a base clear. Pretty sure this is a base clear. Which means you have a color coat and then a clear coat. Otherwise, you have single stage, which is the actual color and the finish, with no clear on top. So looking at this, I don't know. I don't think it's too bad. I don't really want to dig into it too hard because I know it is kind of old. I don't know exactly how old. I have seen some overspray and stuff in the fender wells and underneath the car, so I know the car's been painted on before. To what extent, I don't know. But it was color, so, and I'm pretty sure this is a base clear car. Anyways, so what I decided to do is I went with a Chemical Guys product, and this is a scratch and swirl remover. It's more of a product that you would use for like maintenance in between doing heavy buffing. You know, you've buffed your car out, it looks really good. A couple months later, after taking really good care of it, you're noticing it's got a little bit of, you know, so a few little scratches and stuff from dust and whatever. Got some swirls in it. This will take that out. I'm going to use this on a soft wool pad. This is I think a 5-inch, yeah, 5-inch, 130 millimeter. This is a 3M 34121. I'm going to use that on a Torque dual action polisher. And then this, you want to shake up your bottle, always shake up your bottles. It's kind of like ketchup. Put a couple drops on this thing. Good one there. Oops. This stuff's kind of thick. You can see like that and like that. just kind of do something like that. Always close your bottles in between. They don't dry out. Normally, oh man. Normally you got to plug yourself in. You know, that's always a good place to start. Again, not instructional video. I guess it got bumped in the on position. I don't know if it got on me. Did it get on me? No, it's not on my hat. It's not on me, I don't think. I see it on the ground. Always make sure your equipment's off when you plug it in, guys. Okay, take two. I'm not going to cut that out because this is a reality show. You know, can't learn from your mistakes. Laugh at your mistakes. And you know, what are you doing? So, anyways, I'm just going to throw this kind of over my shoulder because you don't want the, or I don't want the cord, again, not instructional video. I don't want the cord to be dragging on the paint. I am going to put the cord around my hoodie. I like wearing hoodies when I do this because the cord is dirty and I can trap the cord in my hoodie. That way it's not rubbing dirt, making your neck break out. You know, at 40, I think I'm 47, gonna be 48. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna give it a 4 and kind of go from there. Put no pressure on it. Let the machine do the work. That's the way I do it. Again, not instructional. I'm not showing you how to do it. I'm showing you how I do it. I'm gonna move it around. The way I like to do it is up and down, back and forth. That way you're not staying on one plane. Or I'm not staying on one plane. Again, not instructional video. So I'm gonna stay off the edge as much as I can. Just kind of get up onto that little ridge, staying off the high point. Staying off the edges of the hood as much as possible. You do want to get to the end of them, but you want to be careful about grabbing this edge. Or I want to be careful, sorry again, not instructional. Okay, now I'm just going to step it up a little bit. Now that I got that worked in. Staying flat. Not trying to push, just trying to control the machine. Alright. Not going to put very much into it because I want to see what it's going to take. You know? I'm going to put a little bit of effort into it, clean it off, see what it looks like. That way I can kind of track my progress. You know, I can do it in small steps. That way I can say, okay, well, when I did, you know, 2 minutes of light work with a soft wool pad and some swirl remover, this was the result. Let me get a rag, we can wipe that off. Where's my bag of rags? These clean or dirty? Oh, that one's maybe dirty. Oh, there we go, there's the clean ones. Okay. I always like to pull the little tag off them. two sides to these rags. One's kind of a more like a wool kind of looking side. The other one's kind of more of a flat. I'm gonna start with the wool side. Now this isn't dry. I could let it dry and get crusted up, but I'm just testing right now. I just want to see what that little bit of work that I did. Again, I'm not pressing. I'm just letting the towel wipe the product off. Just want to see what that little bit of work that I did, what that looks like. Actually, it's not too bad. Not too bad. I'm using the light to kind of monitor my progress. And it's got some light swirling still in it, but it's about 2/3 better than that, if that makes any sense to you. Yeah, this has got some heavy swirl over here, and this has got real light. There's a light hazy swirl to it. Real light hazy swirl. Give me a minute, let me check this out. Kind of evaluate it, see what next step I want to go. Maybe I want to do a little bit more swirl remover. I don't know, let me check it out. All right, now I didn't take a lot of time doing the hood here, but I did it with two different tools and different methods, right? I have my little, was it 4 or 5 inch dual action torque, and then I have what more normal people would think a buffer polisher is. Like when normal people think of, oh, I buffed out my car, I polished your car, this is the machine they think of. And so what I did was I did the dual action on this side and the big one on this side. This is much more effective, I can tell you. However, the big polisher, you got to be very careful with that thing. It will destroy paint faster than you can blink. You have to be very mindful of your edges. And so on that one, because it's not dual action, it just turns, right? And so as it's turning and you're coming across an edge of the car, right? And it's turning this direction. You want to be tilted more on that edge so that it's, as it's polishing, it's coming off of that edge and it's not grabbing that edge, if that makes sense to you. Because if it grabs that edge, say goodbye to the paint, because it'll take it right off. You have to be so careful with that machine. But you can see the difference, I think. Let me get you off the stand and we'll do a quick close-up here. Let me turn the light on the gimbal on. And so you can see this side still has some swirls in it. It still has some things I need to work out, right? And then we work our way over to this side. This side is a lot more glassy. It's a lot more, the clarity on this side is a lot better. Everything about this side is better. And I know you're thinking to yourself, well, why don't you just do the car in this? Because of this. When you get into areas like this, where it's really hard, you got all these little tight areas, you cannot spend any time in here. Oh, well, I cannot, because again, this is not instructional video. This is just me. I can't spend any time in here because if I get close to this or I spend any time in this area, it's going to grab this plastic and break it. It's going to grab this wiper arm and break it. It's going to come in here and break all this stuff. It's going to rip the paint off all this. I can't do anything with that big machine in that area. Coming along the fenders, I have to be so careful on these edges. I have to make sure that the pad is trailing and not coming onto it. So this pad does have its advantages. It's great for just cutting through heavy swirls and scratches. It's very bad if you mess up. So you got to be very careful. Now this car is not perfect, and I can tell you the more perfect you actually make the paint, it's like a double-edged sword. The worse you're going to be, because the more clarity you have, the easier the car is going to scratch and look horrible down the road, and you're going to be constantly fighting it. And so it's, you never, at least I never want to bring, the paint to a place that is totally perfect, because you end up fighting it. When you get to that clarity and that perfect, sheen, 2 weeks later, after washing the car or wiping it off because there was a little bit of dust on it, you'll find swirls. Here, let me grab you again and I'll show you what I'm talking about. In order to really look at the paint, you have to use the light. So I'm going to put that light, so that light right there, pay attention to that. So we go on this side of the hood, and you can see there's a few swirls. Now come to this side of the hood with it. You see the swirls? Let me zoom you in. You see the swirls? Then we go to that side of the hood. A lot less swirls. So there's advantages, but what you end up with is you end up with a paint that you're constantly fighting to look good. You'll notice that I removed some parts from the car because I started out just kind of going over, evaluating all the little plastic bits and the parts and the pieces and the stuff and all that. And one of the things obviously is the headlights are missing, but if you look at the headlights here, this is the marker, it goes on the inside right here. It's yellow. I could probably clean up a lot of this, but what you don't really notice, and it's real common on these 90 cars, is that this lens here kind of overlaps the seam there, overlaps the seam. And so you end up with this little kind of cavity here in the back that's yellowed out. So if I were to polish this, which I could do, all along here would have this halo of yellow. Obviously, I mean, look, if you're trying to just do a cleanup, something you're just scratching and spraying to make a half decent looking car, sure, fine. Those lights aren't bad, and I'll probably put them on Facebook Marketplace or something and sell them off. But they need to be replaced, especially on this car. This car is really nice. The other thing you'll notice up here is I got a lot of the plastic trim and stuff around the windshield removed. I got the cowl removed. When I was on CJ Pony buying all the parts, that's the place I bought all the parts for this car. When I was on there buying all the parts, these parts were inexpensive. The cowl piece, there's nothing wrong with it. However, it's just old. I cleaned on it a little bit, and it still just looks like an old 90s part that you've cleaned on. So really trying to maximize how well this car looks in the end. And the main reason that I took it off is because on this side, there's a trim piece here. And I believe it is this piece. Yeah, this piece here. It was broken. It's just a cheap, flimsy plastic piece. It's got two little tabs that slip down into the cowl here and attach that kind of like that. And it's kind of just the cover for the bottom portion of the windshield. The tabs on it were broken, so I had to remove that, replace that. That was just kind of flopping around and didn't look very good. It's got these metal tabs. So it's got these metal tabs here that are, I think they riveted in or something to the body. It looks like they clip in. They clip into some rivets and stuff that hold out, that kind of pop out of the body. Anyways, the tabs are fine. They're metal. Nothing wrong with them. Not rusted out or anything. But when the plastic clipped into them, over the years, cleaning the windshield, polishing the car, the little tabs broke. So definitely wanted to replace that because you don't want anything flopping around. And with the cowl off, you can see I can really kind of get up. I don't need to get in here because you can't really see in here, but being able to get up kind of underneath of the cowl will give it that more finished look when I go to do the polish in that area. Plus it allows me to get in this area and in this area where you can see I couldn't really get with the polisher. At least the big polisher. On the little polisher, I was able to get, of course, a lot closer to it. This side had one clip right here that was broken. This one was actually in pretty good shape still. But again, it was kind of floppy. This piece here, so this is very common on a Fox body to deteriorate. They get real kind of, it's hard to kind of describe. It looks like a textured plastic maybe. I don't know, it's kind of hard to, but you go right here on the door. And they all do it. And what this is it's kind of like a rubberized, let's see, where's that one? Where's that one? It's still in pretty good shape on the end. You can kind of see right there. I don't know if you can quite see that, but it's kind of rubberized on top of a metal backing. And what happens is that rubber just starts to fall apart, starts to delaminate from the metal, and then it ends up looking really bad. So that's a very common piece on these cars. Convertibles are a little different than the hardtops because it has this piece, because no door frame. So getting this piece off is horribly hard to do. Horribly hard to do. The other reason for needing to do this is that on this side, this piece was actually broken, and I'll show you that here in a minute. It attaches right here on the door, and somehow you have to get a tool through this space because there's no access hole on the door. So you got to get a tool through this space to undo screws. So let me show you what it is. It's these right here. It's these. So you have, these are molded into the plastic screw with a nut on the end of it. Of course, let's use the littlest nut possible with no shoulder and these little locking teeth. And then what it is, I'll show you the broken one. So when I was inspecting all the little pieces, you can see the rust that was underneath of it. This piece was flopping around pretty good. These are just, during the process of building this, these little metal studs are molded onto this little plastic piece. And then you're supposed to somehow fish that nut on there. Yeah, good times. So, I ordered all these. Not bad. I think these were like 40 or 50 bucks. These were like $12. This was like $40 or something like that. I don't know. The headlights were like $160, I think. Without the fog lights. Don't need fog lights, just need the headlights. I didn't do the one piece because they just look dumb on these cars. So I did the 3-piece per side. I think they look better. In my opinion, keeps it more classic, I guess you could say. So yeah, got new pieces here. That new little piece that goes up here. And then the repair kit for the door, so the door closes, and new floor mats. Alright, before we get started today, I just kind of wanted to go over some of the things I found while taking this thing apart. You know, I bought new emblems for the side, and you can see that the ones that were on there were okay, but you can see how bad the little sticky stuff is behind it. And you can see all of the wax and stuff over the years piled up behind it. So changing something like this on the car as we're getting ready to, you know, prep it for sale, we're really kind of that'll really make a huge difference in the end. Having all these pieces out, like the headlights, being able to clean and wax up underneath where you normally can't get to, all that stuff really helps. I'm not teaching you how to detail, I'm not teaching you anything, I'm just showing you some of the stuff that I found. These plastic pieces right here are broke so bad somebody had actually glued them to the paint, which that's no good. Both of the pieces right here on both sides were broken. I think I showed you that before. I did take the door panels apart, and so I wanted to look at the why the window wouldn't move up and down. Basically, like all Mustangs, you know, the rod here is a little bit gooey, not very smooth, and the little bushing that goes in there is all worn out. So I got new bushings. Got new little covers for this because they were kind of a little bit worn out. Both of these were broken. The little you can see here where the hole, somebody had screwed it on too tight and just blew the little bracket part out of it. So new ones of those. Got new vents. I was gonna paint these, but found new ones that were reasonably priced, so I just bought new ones. You know, little things like that. Just trying to clean the car up. But what I'm going to focus on now is actually taking it outside, pressure washing all under here. I was going to get some gunk or some engine degreaser. It doesn't really need all that. It's just got some light dirt, maybe a little bit of oil. So I'm just going to use a little bit of simple green there, that purple. Heavy duty cleaner. Plus I don't want anything too abrasive because I don't want to, you can see the stickers and stuff under the hood are already starting to come up. I don't want to remove any of these, so I'm going to be real careful around those. Trying to make the car just look nice and clean. So as I'm working through this car, I'm noticing a few different interesting things. One, the whole bottom portion as well as the front clip of this car has been, I don't know about repainted, but at least re-cleared. I know the front half has been at least cleared. The whole bottom of the car has been painted. And so looking into this car a little bit further, it was first titled in 91, but it's a 90 model. And in 1990, I think was the last year for the two-tone paint. And that's what this car actually is. It's, what do they call it? Wild strawberry metallic top with a metallic titanium bottom. And I found that here looking through when I was working on the door. You can see it there on the door. So at first I thought that was primer, and then as I did a little bit more research into the car, come to find out that in fact this car was a two-tone car. You can see it here as well. When they repainted, they didn't shoot the jams. They did a little bit up in here, but not enough to really cover it all. So what I'm going to do here to fix this is order some paint matched just spray. It's just on the inside edge of the door, so if I spray this to match the car, it's not that big of a deal. You can see the inside of the jam is, you know, it's not as critical as the outside of the car. Now you can see the other thing that I found is that as I started to work through the paint, I don't know if it's going to show up too much on the camera, but the clear is actually starting to deteriorate. And how I know that is I did a bunch of polishing to try and take the cloudiness out of it, and it just doesn't polish out. Basically, the clearance all the way through has gone cloudy. Eventually, the clear on this car is going to start falling apart. It's going to start flaking off and just kind of coming apart. You know, there's a couple ways you could fix this. You could scratch and shoot new clear on it, or you could, you know, just body work and paint the entire car. Being that the front half has got some trash in the clear, and you know, I mean, the paint's in pretty good shape. It's definitely a good driver. It's just not, you know, that SEMA show car quality, but it's really in good shape. So the back half of this car, somewhere in the door, they stopped the clear. I think they blended the door, and then this back half here is original paint. Except for the trunk lid. It looks like they reshot the trunk lid as well, because I'm finding little specks of trash. I don't know if you can see that there. There's a little speck of trash, a little speck of trash. Easiest way to see if a car's been repainted, especially, well, something in a booth, you really wouldn't find that too much. But like in a nicely cleaned garage, you'll find it. So if you look here, I don't know if you can catch the light across it, but if you look here, you can see it's kind of cloudy. And then you move to where it's been re-cleared. Now this needs to be polished, but if you look, if you can see it, I don't know if you can or not, this gets cloudy. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell on the camera, but so basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to clean it up the best I can. It's not going to come out perfect. There's just no way. And where I started noticing it is on the other side, when I started really getting into this area here, is where it really, I really noticed it. And I think due to when they put the pinstripe on, they must have used some kind of acetone or something, which etched the clear in this area. And with it already kind of being compromised, I think it just kind of took its toll on it, at least in that upper belt line of the car right there. But so that's what I've found so far. I'm continuing to polish on it, and I will. This side is basically done. You can see the back is a little cloudy. Again, not much I can do about that. It's all the way into wax stage. That's the best that's going to look. The door came out a little bit better. And then the front clip turned out really good. Now I haven't done the front bumper. Reason being is because these old 90s plastic bumpers, you have to be very, very careful with them. Otherwise the paint will just rip it right off. So I'm going to take my time on that and move probably with the DA with a foam pad and some really light polish, and just be very careful with that. So I got to order some touch-up paint to fix that little two-tone spot there in the door. But other than that, I think the paint on this car is turning out pretty nice. Not bad. Alright, time kind of got away from me today. Watching a few of my YouTube channels that I enjoy watching. There's some new episodes. So, that, if you haven't checked it out already, one of the channels I've really been into lately is Carter's Auto Body Restyling. Check that one out. I think he's Canadian. It's funny. It's a funny dude. But he's building a truck called the Chicken Truck. It's a custom truck. You have to go check it out to see it. Dude is amazing with body work, metal work, that kind of stuff. And he always downplays it like the work's not all that great. It's it's pretty awesome. Got the bodies on this car is all finished. Kind of want to be right when you put these on, because once they're on, they're pretty much on. If you try and take them back off, odds are you're gonna break them. It's probably how the ones that were on here got broke. So you kind of want to be, I don't know if it wants to be all the way to the side or if it, where's the clip? Clip's there. So if I center the clip, that's where the center is. I think that looks right. I'm going to go with that. Yeah, that's on there. Kind of really almost seems like that. I was really waiting for a satisfying click. And it didn't give me that. I guess that's... I'm not going to mess with it because, like I said, if you try and take them off, they'll break. But I'm going to call that good. Got a bunch more parts showed up. All the interior parts that I bought showed up yesterday. So I can get to I can finally do the windows and stuff. But I don't want to, you know, kind of jump around on this car too much. There we go. Man, that's kind of garbage. I really am trying to not put too many parts on this car because, you know, trying to turn a profit on this thing. But at the same time, you know, you want to make it nice. There we go. Push that back down so that stays in there. Okay. So if I go all the way to the side, that's all the way to the side. Okay. That's lined up, right? Lined up on the clip, yep. Just want to make sure. Get both those. There we go. There we go. That's better. Get this little... I'll tell you, these 90s cars are just so... afterthought is the word that comes to my mind. You know, this body style started 80 something. No, sorry, 70 something. 78? Can't remember. But it's old. And then it ran all the way to 93 was the last Fox Body. 94 started the, what they call it, was it the SN95? Anyways, so what you find with these, especially like headlights and that kind of stuff, is just, you know, they tried to make something work with what they already had. So a lot of these little plastic parts and stuff are just one-time use. If you try and reuse them, they just break. Especially these little pieces here. And like I was saying, this one had 2 clips that were broken and it was glued. And then that one I think had 1 clip that was broken. So it just definitely wasn't going to do what I needed it to do. Let's go here. Like that. Okay. That sounds good, right? I don't know what that little cutaway is right there for that. I know you guys couldn't see what I was talking about, but believe me, there's a little cutaway right there. It seems like something's holding it up. They got a clip on. Oh, it's got little standoffs. Are those supposed to go into a guide? Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a little hole there in the cowl. I didn't see that one. It doesn't really want to go in there. Definitely don't want to be forcing this. Oh, that went in. Okay. That must just give it its shape, I guess. The hood's a little, like the cow's a little curved, so plastic, of course, will bend really easy around the curve that you need it to. That side over there is not sitting in now. Well, maybe that's what that little notch was for. There's something that goes right there. No. It's okay. It's like that doesn't want to sit quite right. It's in that side now. And then this side sticks out. That's interesting. Huh, I don't know. Anyways, let's get the squirter nozzle. You see, these are the parts here. These are those little pieces that I was sticking on. That's for this side. Both the clips are just busted off. This one went on this side, and one of the clips completely missing. So, and you can see they're plastic and they just get old. So you put a new one on there, and they were cheap. They were, you know, $12 or something. I don't know. Not as good as the original ones, of course. These even had little pads on them, probably to keep them from vibrating when the car is running. But if it vibrates a bit, I'll figure it out then, I guess. I don't know. All this reproduction junk is just that. It's junk. There's really nothing wrong with this piece, but you can see, you know, with age, it's just kind of taking its toll on it. You put new side pieces, and this is going to look wrong. So stick a new one of those on there, and just put the squirter in there. And then we can pop this part back on the car. I'll keep that around, the centerpiece at least, because you never know. For one, I'm a hoarder, and two, you never know when your next Fox Body might come around. I love these cars. I'd love to get another hatchback. My favorite color is that, like a green. When I was working at Roush back when I was in my 20s, there was a kid who had one. Hatchback. I'm going to call it emerald green, but that's not the right color. It's not the name of the color, but that's what it looked like. It was like a like a metallic green. Anyways, it was a really neat color. This thing's got 6 screws, it looks like, holding it on. Definitely don't want to use a drill on this panel. The original panel, which I'm taking it, that old one is probably original to the car. They're a little bit stronger than these. But like I was saying, you know, these cars had so much just afterthought plastic garbage attached to them that even something as simple as this little cover here, you can't take it off, even though they designed it to be removed. You can't, though. The second you try and remove it, it just breaks the clips. Luckily, you know, there's places like CJ Pony. which is where I got this stuff. I ordered parts from 2 different places, CJ Pony and Late Model Restorations, LMR. The headlights, which you can't see, that are in the car, which I'll show you here in a minute, those came from CJ Pony. This came from CJ Pony. What else did I get from them? Oh, the glove, or the ashtray door repair kit came from them. There might have been a couple other things. Oh, these strips here on top of the car, top of the door, they came from them. I don't have them on yet because I need to, when I change the guide bushings on the door, I need to pry. Okay, you kind of put like a something in here to pry these 2 panels apart. What I saw was a guy used a like a sand hammer, dead blow, and he kind of stuffed the handle in there and then twisted it, and it just kind of pops those 2 panels apart so you can get that guide rod out of there, so you can change the bushings on it. That looks a lot better. So I don't want to put these pieces on the car yet until I do those doors, or yeah, the windows. That looks a lot better. You know, that's probably 50 bucks right there, but in my mind it's 50 bucks well spent. The car does look a lot better. Let me get you off the stand so you can see what I'm talking about. You know, just looks a lot better. Come around to the other side, and then I always put a little bit of wax on those. So I polished these. You can see the unpolished part where I haven't polished yet on the top part because I want to put the top down so I don't get wax on the top. But you can see with unpolished versus polished. Polished just brings them back and makes them look new. This is paint, so you can definitely polish it. This is plastic, of course, so you can put wax on this. I usually don't. So you can kind of see the fitment there. It's not the best, but honestly, all the plastic on these cars never really fit all that great. You see the new headlights. You know, new headlights always make a car look good. For me, it's been days since the lights have been in the car. For you, it's probably been a couple minutes or something from the last time in this video when you saw it without the lights. But the paint turned out pretty good, not bad. It is older, like I was saying before. This was a 2-tone paint with the silver on the bottom, and they resprayed it. So the bottom respray part actually looks pretty good, where they re-cleared the hood and the tops of the fenders, and I think the whole front fender doesn't look too bad. The prep work that they did underneath of it, though, was absolutely horrible. Tons of scratches and stuff that I was trying to get out that I couldn't get out because it's underneath of the clear. In the back here, you can still see the cloudiness kind of right along that edge. And that you would think, oh, okay, I just keep polishing it, that'll come out. No. The clear is actually coming apart. So if you keep polishing that, you're going to end up at the body shop asking if they can repaint the car for you. So at some point you got to call it done. And I think this is it. This is the finished product. The car doesn't look bad. It's a 5-footer. Definitely looks great from 5 feet. There's really nothing all that wrong with the body on this car. It just needs to be painted, really. It's in really good shape. The whole car is in really good shape, but it's got a 90s paint on there with the respray on the bottom. I would guess somewhere around the 2000s. And at the time, it looks like they probably painted the bumper too. So, well, got the window to fit pretty good. It's got no gaps. There's a gap right here in the top weather stripping, but other than that, which if I kind of just adjust it a little bit, 90% of that's gone. So it's pretty good. These cars, so I don't know if you know, I don't know if I said this before, but all the Fox Body Mustangs came out of the factory as hardtops. None of them were convertibles. They went to a coach company in Southern California, or California, I think it was Southern California, that cut the tops off of them and turned them into convertibles. That's why they are the worst convertible ever. Besides the Chrysler K car, you can't get much worse than a convertible than the 5-liter Mustang, or Fox Body Mustang, not 5-liter. The Fox Body Mustang, because I believe they did make 4-cylinder convertibles. They're just horrible. Horrible cars. They twist, rattle, they're rattle boxes. So getting these things to actually fit right. Window moves nice now. Up and down's good. The part that I struggled with, and I was trying to relieve, was that, you know, that metallic-y glass hitting stuff sound. And basically what it is right here, there's a guide, and as the window's down, it's away from that guide, and as you close the door, it smacks that guide. I can't really do anything about it, because if I move that guide out, everything's ruined. Window won't close right. So it's just kind of the way it is. You know, I'm not the best at Fox bodies. Maybe there's a guy out there that knows, oh yeah, if you adjust this doohickey and put that doohickey right, then, you know, it goes away. But at least it doesn't jump. Before it would jump and fall, and now it's not doing any of that. The door closes a lot better. Window operates as best as it can. I don't know if you notice when it goes up, when it gets to the back, it kind of like that. Alignment issues. I had every single alignment part on this car loose. Again, this channel is not a how-to, so don't expect me to teach you how to. But what I can do is I can show you what I did. And then if you want to go tackle one yourself, then, you know, go do that. I don't know. But, you know, don't jump in the comments and be like, oh, you didn't even show me how to do it. Okay, so this is the guide pole right here. And so let me roll the window up. And so that right there, this mechanism is all that, this mechanism right here is everything that keeps that window in line. So you have adjustments up here, you have adjustments down there, the adjustments down here tilt the window in and out, the ones up here slide the window like this, right? You notice that all this is greased up. That was one of the problems with it dropping. You want to grease the guide pole, that's all greased up. I greased the motor over here. You can't really see, it's behind that black plate. But there is a bracket that bolts here. There's a tensioner that bolts here. There's another bracket that bolts here. And this guide rod will slide like this to adjust the window even further. So after playing with all of these things, having this one out, having this one completely loose, playing with how they, because these are stops, when it comes to the top, it's got this little hooky deal and it stops the window. Let me roll it down, see if I can kind of show you what the stop looks like, maybe right there. I don't know if you can see that. Right there. You can see it's got like two little pockets, and it's got in the door right here, it's got these little hooks, and the hooks go into those pockets to help align the door, to basically make the window so that when the window's up and you close the door, it feels like the window's, you know, solid in the car. It's not just flopping around. Getting all those things right so that it lands in the window in the weather strip correctly is a pain. So what I did was I loosened this one up. Behind there is two more bolts that go this way that holds a little hooky deal. And then there's another bolt that holds the little paddle. On this one, this loosens up. And then it's got one bolt that loosens the little paddle. Loosened all of it up, moved the door around where I wanted it, tightened everything down, and then fine adjusted it from there. When I had this bar out, I scrubbed it, polished it, made sure it was all nice and smooth and clean, because that's what those bushings ride along, and all that was good. So now the window works the way it should. So get a slight drop, and then if you'll notice right here, I put some padding to keep the window, when the window's down, to keep the window from slapping against the door. Also over here on that bar, it was hitting that bar, and so I put a couple pads right there as well. That keeps the glass from hitting that pad. It really quieted the door down. But as you see, when the window's open and you close the door. Now mind you, the door panel's not in there, so this thing does rattle around a little bit. I'll try and hold that still, but you can still hear it a little bit. But it's 90% better. So that's what I did to fix the car, to fix the window going up and down on the car. It took me hours of playing with it because I didn't understand how it worked. I mean, you can go watch a YouTube video, and I mean, most of them are like, oh, take this out, clean this, put it back, and oh, look, everything works right. But what if all the adjusters are adjusted wrong? Or what if you have a blank door and you're trying to put it together? I didn't really find a video that really explained how to do everything, every aspect of the door itself. So I played around with it. I'm not going to make a video on how to adjust every aspect of the door because I don't do how-to videos. Because there's always somebody in the comment, dude, that's not right. And I just got no patience for it. Honestly, I'm one guy in a shop building these cars. I don't want to hear, you know, I don't like it, go somewhere else. Look up how to, you know. Anyways, I'm not trying to jump into that again, but that is, oh man, that's annoying. That's like the most annoying thing. I don't know. You know, I love the way that, I'm telling you, you got to go check out that Carter's Auto, what is it? Carter's Auto Restyling, I think is what it's called. Oh man, that show's great. He's Canadian, and he just has fun with those idiots in the comments. They were getting on him on this last video about what he was doing because he's building this chicken truck, and he had this seam on the front of the truck that was leaded, and he melted out all the lead on it, and he was leaving it because he was going to redo that whole panel right there, redo that whole piece. So he was just leaving it be, and everyone, apparently a lot of people were, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? So he mixed up a bunch of fiberglass filler on the floor and then slapped it on the truck. And, you know, I guess that's the other way you can deal with those people in the comments, is just to have fun with them. But I don't know. You know, it's hard. It's hard. Got, you know, all kinds of stuff going on. So does everybody. I don't have any more or any less than anybody else. I guess it's just all about how you deal with it. But lately it's been just lots of stress. Twins and 3-year-old, and, you know, trying to get back to work, build cars, keep everyone happy. It's not easy. Anyways, I would call this a success. This is done. One of the things that I did buy, and I would recommend if you're going to do a job like this, to definitely pick these up. Because even though I'm selling the car, they're cheap, you know, and easy to install. It's the weather pieces for the doors, the plastic pieces. These are a lot more durable. Thick plastic. It's going to keep all the weather off of your door panels. Sorry, I'm sweating. It's going to keep all the weather off your door panels. The old ones looked like this. This has got a, it must be original because it's got the factory, you know, part number on it and whatnot. But I mean, you could cobble this thing back on, but it was glued on so tight there was no way. I tried everything to get it off in one piece, but I think somebody had come back and glued on it to make it, you know, fit good or whatever. But that's okay. They make these. These are super easy and simple. I haven't tried to use one yet, as of yet, but I would suspect that it's got to be pretty straightforward. Maybe not. I don't know. This is gonna go probably like that's there, so that's got to go like this, and that's up there. So this got to flip around, and this goes like this, and there we go. There it is. So that means that this piece will go on this door right like that. And then it looks like it's got some holes in it. It looks like maybe the clips, oh no, that's got the cutaway for the speaker. So that goes like this. Yeah, because there's the, yep, there's the door lock and the other thing. Yeah, it's got, yeah, it goes, and it's held on with the same clips that hold the door panel on. So maybe you would just put it on the back of the door panel. Let's take a look. See how this goes. I'll bring you guys over here to this door panel next to this El Camino with a 396 in it. Let's take a look here and see how this works. Speaker. Yeah, that's exactly how that goes. That's kind of nice that it attaches to this piece. Well, attaches to the door too. Or maybe these are just reference points and you're supposed to glue it on, because you would want it to be adhered to the metal. That way any moisture that came in through the door wouldn't come into the car. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to play around with this and see how it looks. Maybe I use some double-sided sticky tape around it. And it's got all the spots for the electrical and the speaker and the door handle and the holes for the armrest. I don't know what that one's for. Oh, there's something there. I don't know. I can't remember all what was in this, honestly. Looks like that's a hole for the, yeah, that's a hole. That's a hole and that's a hole. I don't know what this one, oh, that was for that clip. The armrests on this thing, they have like these little finger clips where you kind of put it in, it holds into the armrest, and then you kind of roll it up and push it in and then put 2 screws in it. Anyways, that's what that is. Of course, it's got the sound deadening. Oh, and somebody put a piece of, oh, it looks like from maybe the people that made the panel put a little bumpy to keep the panel nice and tight to the door so it didn't flop around on you. That's nice. I don't know, this car is really nice. That's what I'm saying. It's really worth the time and the money to put into it. I mean, most cars are. Even if it was like this, well, El Camino's really nice. You know, even if it was like my 65 hardtop, you know, old, it's worth the money. It's worth the time. I guess it's up to you whether or not it's worth the time and the money. But anyways, yeah, I recommend getting you a set of these if you're gonna get into a door, you know. Otherwise, the first time it rains, all of this stuff is going to get wet, and then it's going to get mushy, and then you're going to have wavy door panels. All right, guys, got this door done. Been kind of dragging my feet a little bit because I wanted to wrap this portion of the show up with all the parts that I have being completely installed and everything else. But honestly, I'm really getting a lot of video. I need to cut it down a lot, but and I missed my deadline for last week. I didn't get a video out last week, so I really wanted to edit this first thing this week so that I can get it out. Hopefully, maybe get another video out by the end of this week. Maybe edit it on Saturday, upload it on Sunday, that kind of stuff. Anyways, this door is done. Things I wanted to show you was you can shut the door now with the window down, and there's no... These cars are notorious for that. But if you change all the little pieces and you set the window up right, what you end up with is a door that closes really nice. Now on this door I had to replace a lot of bushings and adjust a lot of the fixtures and pieces, but the window goes up and down now without jumping. It's really smooth, which, you know, that's what you want. Of course, the door panel's all back on nice and straight with new clips. I got a new bezel here to complete the look on the door, because this one was broken and just kind of flopping around. But now, even with the window up and you close the door, it seals nice. You're going to get no air through there. They are convertibles, so you know, you might get a little air whistle, who knows. But this is about the best you could ask for when it comes to, especially a Fox body, because remember, none of these cars were convertibles. They were all hardtops. This started out as an LX, you know, hardtop, and then it went to, and then they put the body panels on it for GT and cut the top off of it, put the convertible top on. So anyways, you got to kind of shut these a little bit hard. All these cars are that way because of the buffer. You're pushing past the seals, you're pushing past the buffer, the window, other window being closed. So with the window up, it is always a little bit of a hard close on these cars. So if you've got a wife or girlfriend that really likes to get into closing the door, this might be a good car for you, because she can get after it, and it won't make you feel bad when she slams your door, because you almost have to on these cars. Now with the window down, you don't. Let me put the window down. I like how easy the door closes with the window down. But I still have vents to change. I still have the ashtray to fix. I'm waiting for the speedometer cable. And really, I should have recorded. My plan was to record this door, or finish this door, and then record that door. But I'm telling you, the process to do that was, it's not easy. And again, this is not a how-to show. This is just for entertainment purposes only. And I don't know how entertaining any of this really is, but regardless, that's what this show is just really for entertainment, so you can see something getting done, watch somebody else, you know, really busting their butt on a car. Really is all it is. So with that said, I am going to end this episode here. I'll pick back up the next episode with installing and repairing that door the same as this door, except for I'm going to kind of have you with me, and we'll walk through, and I'll kind of explain to you what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, that kind of stuff. Again, not a how-to show, so don't expect to gain any kind of knowledge on how to do something. I'm just going to show you on what I did on this door to kind of bring that door back into you know, new status. Because this door really clanked. I don't know if I showed you that in the beginning. I think too. It was a while. I think I did. It was a while ago when I kind of showed you guys the car, and you could really hear the door clunk, 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 clunk. I'm glad that's fixed. It really makes the car that much better. So next time when we come back, I'll go through step by step on what I did and work through it with you on camera. We'll also remove the center console there and put the little repair kit on that door so that door closes correctly. We'll go ahead and pop these vents out. I do have those new vents that I showed you. We'll pop those in. That's really going to make a huge difference on the dashboard because this just looks horrible with how discolored that is. Now on these vents, you can paint them. There's nothing wrong with that. You can totally do that. And that's actually what I was going to do, but then I actually found a set at LMR, had them for a reasonable price. I think they were a little over $100 for the set of them. And to me, that's kind of worth it because when you paint something, it looks painted. If you can put something in there that doesn't look painted, it makes the car look more factory. And that's really what I'm going for with the interior on this car, is just really clean, nice, and factory. I do have the floor mats. They did come in. Looking at the carpet, that's really what this car needs. Little vacuum here on the side. There's a few small little spots and stuff that I could try and maybe get out. Other than that, it's just floor mats that this car really needs. Those were kind of pricey, $120, $30 or something like that for the floor mats in this car. So not something you really want to mess up if you do have, well, any car really. I would expect any car to be about the same price. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope maybe this episode was a little bit more entertaining. I'm working on that. I'm working to be a little bit more entertaining. I don't want to get into the goofy, the funny, the making jokes, the calling parts by dumb names, that kind of stuff. That's not really my style. I don't know, maybe I'm a little more serious. You know, I do have my own style in doing this too. I like things to be put back to the way that they should be, in my mind at least. Maybe somebody has a different opinion of that, but that's kind of the way I build these cars and repair these cars, is what I consider doing it right. Whether or not it is right in your mind or not is maybe different, but that's kind of the way I do things. And so I do need to lighten up a bit, kind of make things a little bit more enjoyable, and kind of take you, I think, a little bit along on the ride. And on these last few videos, I was really kind of just talking to you like I am now and showing you the work that I did instead of doing the work on camera with you. I'm going to get back to doing the work on camera with you, even though that is extremely time consuming. It really is. If you would listen to any one of the creators, they'll tell you the same thing. They can get so much more work done when they're not staring at a camera. But, you know, I don't need to do this show. I just enjoy doing it. It's fun to me. So it doesn't matter if it's popular or not. I still enjoy doing it. And, you know, maybe, like I said, when my kids grow up, they can look back and they see, oh, look what Dad was doing when I was born, or, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 years old. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. And I'm going to try and have that next video out by the end of this week. I'm going to try and get this one maybe uploaded today or tonight. We'll see how that goes. But as always, guys, until next time.